Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. It's me, Dr. Mansoor Khan, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Kohat University of Science and Technology. The course which assigned to me is Radiochemical Methods, Electrochemical Sensors and Automation. Today I am going to deliver my fifth lecture, which is stability of nuclides. This slide shows the outline of today's presentation, which will cover brief introduction to nuclear chemistry. In this we will discuss that what is nuclear chemistry and what topics are included in nuclear chemistry. Today we will also discuss about one of the topic of nuclear chemistry, which is called a binding energy. We will also talk about another topic which is called mass defect. We will discuss how to calculate binding energy and mass defect. We will also discuss binding energy per nucleons. We will discuss binding energy curve, and finally I will summarize my lecture. Now the first one is Introduction to Nuclear Chemistry. Introduction to nuclear chemistry include that what is nuclear chemistry and what topics are included or what topics are discussed in nuclear chemistry. So first we will define that what is a nuclear chemistry. A nuclear chemistry is the subfield of chemistry, deals with nuclear process and nuclear properties. So chemistry which deals with the nuclei, with all the nuclear process, with all the nuclear reaction, with all the nuclear properties, this chemistry is called nuclear chemistry. And in nuclear chemistry we mainly deals with number one, radiochemistry, nuclear reaction, and also application of the nuclear chemistry. So we will discuss all these phenomena in this course. Now what is binding energy? Binding energy is the amount of energy which is required to convert the nucleus into its proton and neutron, or we can say that binding energy is the amount of energy which is required to break up the nuclei. The binding energy is the energy required to break the nucleus into its constituent proton and neutron, and it is equal to the amount of energy released in the formation of nuclei. Reversibly it can be defined, it is the amount of energy released when a nuclei form from its constituent proton and neutrons. So binding energy is basically equivalent energy to the mass defect. It is equal to the difference in the mass of free proton and neutron and the nuclei. Now what is mass defect? Mass defect is the difference in the mass of nucleus and the mass of constituent proton and neutron. There is a difference in between the masses. This mass is called mass defect. So the total mass of nucleus is less than the sum of masses of its constituent nucleus, proton plus neutron, or we can say that the sum of masses of constituent proton and neutrons is higher than the total mass of nucleus. So mass defect is represented by delta M, which is equal to ZMP plus A minus Z into Mn minus mass of nuclei. Where MP is the mass of proton, which is equal to 1.0370073 atomic mass unit, R, which is equal to 1.673 into 10 raised to the power minus 27. Mass of neutron is represented by Mn, which is equal to 1.0087 atomic mass unit, which is also equal to 1.675 into 10 raised to the power minus 27 kilogram. Now, let's come to the determination of mass defect. The information required is the actual mass of nucleus. So in mass defect, during the calculation of mass defect, we required information required about the nucleus. The composition of nucleus, number of protons and neutrons, the masses of a proton and neutron, calculation of mass defect, add up of masses of all protons and neutrons that make the nucleus, subtract. Now in the calculation of mass defect, add up all the masses of proton and neutron that make up the nucleus, subtract the actual masses of nucleus from the calculated mass of nucleus. So we can calculate mass defect like that. Remember, Z is the number of protons and A minus Z is the number of neutrons. That's why in the first equation, which is equal to mass defect is equal to delta M is equal to Zm, where Zm is the mass of protons, while A minus Z is M is the mass of total neutrons, and A minus Z is equal to the number of protons, and Mn is its mass. That's why we represented it like that. Now we will take an example. We will take an example that show that how we can calculate mass defect. So calculate the mass defect delta M of copper 63 nucleus. If the actual mass M of a copper 63 nucleus is 62.91367 atomic mass unit. Solution. Total number of protons is equal to 29. Total number of neutron, which is 63 minus 27, where 63 is the total mass number, minus number of proton, which is equal to 34. Calculated mass of nucleus. The mass of nucleus is equal to 63.590 atomic mass unit, and the mass defect is calculated as calculated mass minus actual masses of protons and neutron. So the answer, putting all these values, and the answer is 0.59223 atomic mass unit. So 0.59223 atomic mass unit is its mass defect. Remember, mass of a proton is equal to 1.00728 and mass of neutron is equal to 1.00867. This table shows calculated mass number of nucleons, actual nuclear mass, and mass defect of different metals which are present in the periodic table. And remember, with increase in the atomic mass or mass number, the mass defect also increases. Calculation of binding energy from mass. Now the sec comes to the another topic, which is calculation of binding energy from mass defect. Now the step involved in the calculation of nuclear binding energy include: number 1, determination of mass defect in atomic mass unit. Second, conversion of mass in atomic mass unit to mass in kilogram. Number 3, conversion of mass defect in kilogram into energy, joule. Fourth one, conversion of energy in joule to milli electron volt. 0. Energy is equal to 4.53 into 10 raised to power 12 joule. So these are how now we know that how mass defect can be calculated, how the mass defect in AMU can be calculated, how the mass effect in kilogram can be calculated, and from this kilogram we can convert it into energy by using Einstein's famous equation. Now conversion of energy in joule to milli electron volt. Half joule can be converted into milli electron volt. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.60 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joule. E is equal to 4.53 into 10 raised to power 12 joule, which is also equal to 1 electron volt divided by 1.60 into 10 raised to power minus 19, which is equal to 28.3 into 10 raised to power 6 electron volt. Electron volt energy, now the energy is equal to 28.3 milli electron volt. The binding energy of an alpha particle is 28.3 million electron volts. So direct conversion of AMU to milli electron volt is equal to mass defect in AMU into 931.5 milli electron volt divided by 1 atomic mass unit. So the energy will be equal to, putting this value, the energy will be equal to 28.3 milli electron volt. So we can convert direct at atomic mass unit to milli electron volt, and or we can calculate it by using joule from energy and also from atomic mass unit. Now the next question is binding energy per nucleon. How the binding energy per nucleon can be calculated? The average amount of energy required to release a nucleons from the nucleus is called a binding energy. Energy per nucleon. Binding energy per nucleon is another important parameter which determine the stability of a nucleus. To compare the stability of various nuclei, it is useful to compare binding energies per nucleon. Greater the binding energy per nucleons of the nucleus, higher its stability and vice versa. Binding energy per nucleon is equal to binding energy divided by total number of nucleons, which is equal to binding B dot E divided by A. The binding energy of a helium nucleus is equal to 28.3 milli electron volt. Its binding energy per nucleon is equal to 28.3 divided by 4, which is equal to 7.08 milli electron volt. This slide shows the binding energy of different nuclei which are present in the periodic table. So we can see, it can be concluded from deuterium toward uranium that the binding energy per nucleon of every metal increases with increases mass number and atomic number. Now we can see the binding energy curve. Binding energy curve is the plot of binding energy per nucleon versus mass number. This is the graphical. The binding energy curve initially rises steeply and more gradually till it reaches to a maximum value of 8.8 milli electron volt per nucleons per ion, and it is dropped slowly. On the other hand, deuterium, lithium and nitrogen have Unparallel nucleons therefore give rise a minimum in the graph. Most stable nuclei is those which is 60. For example, iron. So this is the most stable nuclei. If we see the binding energy, it increases gradually, and after that, after iron, it decreases gradually. Helium, carbon and oxygen have even number of protons and even number of neutrons and do not have an unpaired nucleon. Therefore, these nuclides are more stable than their immediate neighbor and have a higher binding energy, giving rise to the maxima in the graph. So conclusions. So the conclusions drawn from the binding energy curve are: binding energy per nucleon's values are generally low for nuclei with atomic number less than 30. Nuclei immediate mass 30, less than atomic mass also less than 130, greater than 130 have binding energy per nucleus between 8 to 8.73 milli-electron volt, and these nuclei are most stable ones. The maximum value are 8.79 milli-electron volts is for atomic number 56. The curve drops slowly to about 7.6 milli-electron volt at the higher mass number. These nuclei are energetically unstable. Significance of binding energy curve. The binding energy can be used to compare the stability of various nuclei. Higher the binding energy per nucleons, higher the stability of the nucleus, and vice versa. The binding energy curve can be used to predict whether a nucleus will undergo fission or fusion. This is the binding energy per nucleon versus mass number. Lighter nuclei increase their stability by fusion, while heavy nuclei increase their stability by fission. Most stable nuclei, remember iron, which is his atomic mass number is 56. Nuclei with low mass numbers may undergo nuclear fusion, where light nuclei are joined together under certain conditions so that the final product may have a greater binding energy per nucleons. Nuclei with high mass number may undergo nuclear fission, where the nucleus split to give two daughter nuclei with the release of neutron. The daughter nuclei will possess a greater binding energy per nucleon. Now let's calculate a problem. A nuclei of Z, which is equal to 240, having binding energy per nucleon 7.6 milli-electron volt, undergo fission, and from X 110 and Y minus 130, the binding energy per nucleons of X and Y is 8.5 milli-electron volt. Calculate the energy release after the fission of, so where Z40 is equal to X 10 and Y 130 energy plus energy release is equal to binding energy minus binding energy of reactants. Energy released, putting these values, so energy released is equal to 216 milli-electron volt. So it's very simple to calculate the binding energy in milli-electron volt after fission and fusion reaction. Now summary. Now we will summarize the whole lecture. The mass defect of nucleus is the difference between the total mass of nucleus and the sum of the masses of all its constituent nucleons. The binding energy of nucleus is equal to the amount of energy released in forming the nucleus, or the mass defect multiplied by the speed light squared. A graph of binding energy per nucleons versus atomic number A implies that nuclei divided are combined to get stability and release an enormous amount of energy. These are the references, and thank you so much.